This is Ferg the Reporter, and we're here with the one, the only, Big Daddy Ritch of Texas Hippie Coalition. Big Dad, how you doing?
All good, baby. All good.
How's John? Everybody, all the boys are good?
Oh, yeah, man. They're rolling down the highway hard and fast.
All right, we've got new music. You got new tour, Dark Side of Black's coming out in a couple of days. And if you listen after a couple of days, you should have already downloaded or gone and bought it. The CD is massive. Man, your tone is monstrous on this new one. You take your old stuff and you just make it better. The vibe is kind of dark and angry, but yet positive. If that makes sense to you.
Isn't that strange?
It really is. I mean, you listen to Rise, and I mean, it's an angry song, but it's wanting people to come together. It seems like to bring down or come together against the crap that's out there today.
Exactly, man. You know, I mean, there's too much division in the country. This political correctness has definitely got everybody, you know, every day choosing a side, you know. It's kind of crazy. I just wish that, you know, I'm not saying everybody's got to get along and we ain't all got to agree, but we don't all have to just say because you chose this and I chose this, we're no longer on the same team. We could, you know, the only time we should be on different teams is when Texas is playing OU.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just, you have to. And I understand that. See, I'm an Arkansas boy. I'm an Arkansas fan, so we always love playing Texas.
Man, you know, I came up there and played up there one time when Texas and Arkansas were playing, and we played there the night before the game. Massive crowd, humongous crowd, couldn't believe it. And I mean, like them Arkansas people was ready to fight for their hogs, you know. And I love anybody who roots for somebody and stays true to it. You know what I mean? So you gotta love them; they're good fans. But boy, when we won the next day, 22-20, we didn't have no love from anybody.
Yeah, the love shuts down real quick over Texas, Arkansas. You betcha it does.
Oh, I didn't see too many horns upside down, but I did see a lot of I've seen a lot of unicorns straight side up.
Yeah, that's about right. Hey, tell us a little bit about the new album coming out. The two tunes that are out right now are Rise and Come Get It.
That's correct. And today the single hits, Angel Fall, which we made a video for. It comes out today. A lot of good things going on. The album definitely, you know, everybody wants to do a black album. I mean, I don't think anybody out there doesn't want to have a Spinal Tap moment.
Right.
And, you know, you always see a black album. Well, I had always had a kind of idea for a black album, but I didn't want it to just represent just being a black album. I wanted the album itself to have a dark side. And that's kind of what we're showing here, is that there is a dark side, and that even someone who may have a lot of positive energy and a bright light, you know, once they get pushed so hard and somebody's trying so hard to put their light out, you know, what they have to realize is that behind that great brightness, you know, just as on the other side of the sun, there is some darkness. And once that darkness comes beyond the light, it can be, you know, even, you know, if you're made out to be the villain, sometimes you just got to go ahead and be the villain. And sometimes we all end up realizing in the end, the hero was not necessarily the hero. And it often comes out that way, you know. And I know it's an ugly story, but and there isn't much color on the painting, but it's definitely a story that deserves to be told.
Excellent. That's very cool. When you guys write, do you guys write all as a band together, or do you and John, or you and Cord, or everybody pair off, or you guys just bring nuggets together?
Man, you know, writing is always different. I don't like to pair people together so much. I will pair certain people together when I write, but I usually try to keep one-on-ones. I like to write one-on-one with Cord. You know, me and Bob Marlette wrote a few songs together. Me and Skip Mills wrote a few songs together. Michael Hayes, who was a writer on Pride of Texas, me and him revisited writing on this album. So you never know what I'm going to do. I always like to have a variety of choices. You know, as a little kid, I could never go in and get one freaking candy bar. You know, I always came out with 4 or 5 because I wanted to have a different flavor, you know.
I understand. Your vocabulary is wide. You want to be able to pick and choose from many trees, many sources.
Yeah, I'm very lucky and grateful to be surrounded by such talented musicians and, you know, such talented songwriters. Cord Bull in the past, you know, he wrote one song on Right On, but he's really coming into his own and really helped out a great deal with the writing on this album. And I really feel like that everybody that came on around the Peacemaker time and rode with us through Right On, I think they're going to get some of the same feeling that they've been delivered before. But I also think the people that have been with us since Pride of Texas are going to be like, yes, my boys have come home. And that's kind of what we wanted to do. You know, we wanted to go back to our roots. The very reason why we, you know, we make albums in Tennessee, we make albums in L.A., we've worked up in Detroit. You know, we just wanted to come back to Texas, get back to our roots, make an album in Texas by Texans, and as Timmy would say, and one good old boy from Oklahoma.
So you got to choose your own producer for this one. You got to use Sterling Whitfield this time.
Sure enough, man. And I've told people before, you know, whether I'm picking a producer or somebody to be on my dodgeball team, I'm picking Sterling Whitfield. He's got game. I'm telling you, he's a great guy. Certain aspects I wanted this album to have, as I aforementioned, you know, in Texas by Texans, Sterling being a true Texan and proud of it, you know. And I think that's what helped us with, you know, Cord being so young. I just wanted to get Cord some good influences, and I think him and Sterling working together was really helped take the album to the next level. It really helped us showcase guitars, which we haven't really done in some time.
I was gonna, and it was one of the things I was gonna comment on is listening to the new stuff. He fillets the new solos. I mean, Cord just absolutely, the solos just smoking these, and it must be nice to be able, when you write, knowing that somebody's going to bring not only just a good solo, but some of those really good South Texas ripping solos.
Oh, they melt. I mean, they absolutely melt the guitar. And I've been telling people for the longest time that Cord is a young guitar hero in the making. And I have been telling people that. I mean, like in the very beginning when I brought him in, like John wanted to cut him within the first 6 hours. Wanted to get rid of him. After the first 6 weeks, he still wanted to get rid of him. And I kept telling everybody, you know, ride this out with me. Ride this out with me, and I promise you, in the end, what I see in this kid is going to come out. And man, did it ever! You started seeing it showing up on Right On, and then just on this album, it definitely blossomed. And I'm always saying that, like on the stage, if I'm on the stage, on the track, when it comes to the tracks, I am always the highlight. In every album I've ever made, every stage I've ever taken, I'm the highlight. The biased opinion, but that's how I feel. But on this album, there are definitely some times where spotlight is definitely on the kid, and the kid is Cord Bull.
That's excellent. Yeah, I mean, he shreds in it. He really does. And I went back and started listening to some of the old stuff, you know, went Pride of Texas and Rollin' and Peacemaker, just listening to bits and pieces of all of those. And this seems to be a really updated version and a really slamming version of some of the old stuff you guys used to do. Is that?
Yeah, definitely done purposely. You
Okay.
know, as I said earlier, you know, we want to keep the fans that jumped on the ride on Peacemaker and then rode it out with us through Right On. We definitely want to keep those new fans happy. And those songs are, you know, they're a little bit more formatted. But when you take these songs that we've done on this album, I made sure that we went back to some of our old techniques where it might not be so formatted. It's just free flowing. And, you know, we wanted to make sure that we could do both things. And we've you know, we've on the last couple albums, you know, we knew we wanted to get heavier in places, you know, it just didn't, you know, in the songwriting process, it just didn't come about. But on this one, you know, Cord was like, hey, you know, you think we can get a little heavier? And I was like, Cord, I already weigh 333 freaking pounds. How much heavier do you want me to get? You know, but, you know, and I told him, you know, hey, you know, the album's called Dark Side of Black. Let's play around. Let's do what we can do. And whenever Rise came about, you know, I felt good about the song. And once the lyrics formed themselves and everything came together, I was like, dang, this is something special. I could see people really, you know, I could see people, you know, getting ready to go do something in war. You know, I could see them sticking that in their tank and jamming.
Absolutely. I mean, the headbang is strong in that song. The headbang is strong.
Yeah, it'll definitely get your head shaking.
Okay, now you guys are just about to kick off the tour also. Okay, and I'm going to put it, normally you would put it different, but you guys are like road warriors. How much time do you take off during a year? Because you're perpetually touring, it seems like.
Yeah, we pretty much never stop. You know, our slogan is we put more miles on tires than any motorcycle club in the nation. I mean, Goodyear should sponsor us.
Absolutely.
But, you know, we are definitely almost always playing, always touring, always on the road. It's the life we choose, and we love it. And if anybody in the music business knows, there are rock stars and there are starving musicians. Starving musicians have to freaking work. And, you know, for us, it's a job, it's a way of life, and we're just lucky to be able to do what we love to do for a living.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people. And is it harder today than it used to be, or is it getting easier being a full-time on-the-road band as far as
well, you know, the money getting better definitely makes it all easier. You know what I mean? And, you know, I read the book, The Dirt by Motley Crue, and me and John, we both loved the book. We quoted at times. And there's stuff in there about the music business that they talk about, which is very helpful. You know, like don't ever leave your girlfriend in the room with Tommy Lee. And, you know, one of the great things that it says in there, it talks about the cogs and being on the lower cog, the middle cog, and the top cog, and how nobody ever makes it to the top cog, hardly ever, and you get crushed. And I feel like we're in that middle cog. We're in a place to where we're still being discovered, which is a great thing. Mm-hmm. People are reaching out to us. We're getting on great deals. We have, at the beginning of spring here through the beginning of summer, we're on 5 festivals throughout the South and the Midwest. So it's a great thing, you know, to feel this thing happening to this band. And, you know, every day, every year we're growing. So, you know, our fan base keeps getting larger and larger. We have about 100 chapters throughout the world. And it's just it's a great thing to be a part of this. And I feel like the people that are with us, you know, how we come from Texas, we're the hippies, but our fan base is our coalition. And that's why here on 423 in Denver, Colorado, we do an annual 420 party. And we induct members that are voted on by the chapters. And we induct the high five every year. There's 5 of them, and they're all 5 voted in. Only the top 5 vote getters get in. And then every year I inaugurate maybe 1 to 3 people that I choose myself. So this year it's the Hateful Eight, of course. Why not? Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's just something that we do, and it's because we have such gratitude. And that's the banner that we fly under is our faith, our family, and our freedom. And you'll see the 3Fs flying everywhere, you know.
You guys have a rabid fan base. Boy, they love you. And I mean, they're everywhere, and they're a lot of Facebook. That's how I found out about. And you guys, didn't you play with Judas Priest on your last tour? Didn't you get to play with them?
We sure did.
How was that?
We got to do a couple of shows in Texas, and it was freaking amazing. I just remember as a little kid, you know, having, you know, the British steel hanging on the wall, screaming for vengeance banner.
Absolutely.
You know, I looked up to Judas Priest so much. I went and seen them, you know, on Screaming for Vengeance, Defenders of the Faith.
Absolutely.
And then to actually get to take the stage with them, what an honor, And the first show, we're backstage, and I'm playing around. I'm singing. I was singing some stupid song. I'm singing Roar, clowning around, and the door opens, and there's Rob Halford. And Rob comes in, introduces himself to everybody, shakes hands, asks if he can get a picture with us to promote for his social media. And we're like, oh, this is awesome.
That's like a surreal moment.
Oh, man, he was such a great dude. And then as he was leaving, I was walking him out, telling him, how much I looked up to him and how much I thanked him for letting us be on this bill. And he's like, I love your band. John Sykes gave me the CD. I love your band. And so it's just so awesome that you hear somebody that's listening to your CD, and you grew up jamming them all the time. So it was totally awesome.
And John Sykes giving him your CD. How cool is that?
Yeah, and John Sykes, I believe, got it given to him by Zach Wild, was the story that I was told. I don't know about the truth of that, but I do believe what Rob said.
That's
all cool, and I love that we have some fans, because I'm great fans of all those guys we just mentioned.
Oh yeah.
One of my aspirations personally in life is to be a one man empire, like a Vinnie Paul, like a Zach Wild, like a Rob Zombie, and I'm growing. Maybe one of these days I'll grow up.
Hopefully
but,
not.
And then the next show we did with Judas Priest, Rob came out, gave us hugs. When we come off stage, he had watched us for a little bit. And when we came off stage, he come up and gave me a bottle of Irish whiskey. And it wasn't even open. He just gave it to me and was like, here, I want you to enjoy this. And, man, I tell you, it's in my icebox. And I pop it out every once in a while, and I take a drink of it, and I don't let anybody else have it.
No.
I don't let no one have a drink.
Rob gave this to me, and nobody else.
I love it.
All right, I know you guys have got a lot of things to do. Dark Side of Black is coming out. I've got a couple of questions people that are big fans of yours wanted me to ask. One was, what is your favorite beer?
Man, I drink Corona Light like crazy. No fruit.
No fruit.
Every once in a while, if it's hot outside, I throw some salt and a lime in it. But I've been drinking Corona Light. Every once in a while, I drink a bloody beer. But if I got a choice, it's either going to be Corona Light or Dos Equis or maybe Modelo. But Corona Light, for some reason here lately, I'm digging it. I'm wanting one right now as we're speaking, actually.
Next one is, what do you like better, festival gigs or club gigs, if you get paid the same, if you had the choice?
Man, that's like asking me which one of your kids do you love more.
There you go. See, that's what I thought.
Of course, when you're in the club scene, it's all your fans, and it's intimate, and it's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. But when you're surrounded by a mass of people, it's like church. An empty church, 4 or 5 people singing, it might not be so great. But if you got a full church and everybody's getting into it, it's freaking awesome. You know what I mean? So when you got a massive crowd, a humongous, just a yard full of lovers of music, it's a great thing. And you also know at that time there could be thousands out there singing along to your songs, but there's somebody out there discovering you for the first time, and that's an awesome thing.
That's cool. And we'll put it on that note, buddy. I do appreciate you taking the time out, and I'll see you out on the road. You're ever close to Destin, Florida, come by, see me. I got a place right on the bay. We'll just hang out and have a great time. Beer's all on me.
Man, I love Destin. We vacation down there, so I absolutely love it. But I did have a judge tell me never to come back to Florida once. So I just keep breaking the law every time I cross that Florida line. But I would love to break the law and come have a beer with you, buddy.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. We have got Dark Side of Black coming out. New tour. We've got Big Daddy Ritch, Texas Hippie Coalition, buddy. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you again later.
You,
Thank you.
Hippie 420, brother. Love you.
Bye.